Hey viewers and friends and slasher fans, welcome to another movie update, and this time it is a Slasheriffic update. Nothing but slasher movies in this update, so I've got quite a stack to get through both on DVD and Blu-ray, so let's get started. First up we have Mortuary. This is the 80s version, not the remake, and this is a Katrina Nightmare release. I actually haven't had a chance to watch this one prior to the update, and I was ready to do the update today, so it's kind of too bad. I'm aiming to get around to watching this one sometime this month, and to be completely honest, I have no idea what to expect. I'm not really too sure how good the film is, to be honest. It sounds really good, and I've heard mostly positive things about this film, but again, I pretty much don't really know too much about the movie, so it'll be interesting to see what I think. So upon viewing the movie, I will no doubt do a review on it at some point, but if anyone out there has seen Mortuary, please let me know what you think of it. Then we have a killer double feature with Visiting Hours and Bad Dreams. Haven't seen Bad Dreams yet, but I watched Visiting Hours the other day, and it was different to what I was expecting, and for that reason I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I was expecting a really traditional straight up slasher film, kind of similar to Halloween 2 I thought it would be, but it was completely different to what I was expecting. It wasn't a giallo, but it had more of a giallo style than a traditional slasher film, and that sort of threw me out a little bit. You know, it wasn't a terrible movie, but I didn't enjoy it quite as much as I was expecting. I think on repeated viewing I will enjoy it a little bit more, or more than I did upon first time viewing, now that I know what the movie is actually about. One thing I will say, Michael Ironside, he played the maniac killer in this movie. He was absolutely brilliant, amazing performance from him. So, Visiting Hours. Then with Bad Dreams, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I've heard quite a few good things about it, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out sometime, hopefully this month, because it does sound really, really good. In terms of this release, it's a 2-disc set, and I definitely recommend it. There's some special features on both discs, but there's a lot of special features on Bad Dreams, and the transfer for Visiting Hours was pretty good as well. And as far as I know, this is the only way to get both of these movies on official DVD, because I'm pretty sure individually both movies are out of print. So that's the killer double feature of Visiting Hours and Bad Dreams. Then I picked up Detention with Josh Hutcherson. I didn't really enjoy this movie at all, and you know, I took a risk with this one, and unfortunately it didn't pay off for me. This is essentially a sort of comedy spoof take on the slasher genre. I'm not really big fans of those sort of movies, but I thought, you know, this one might be good, but unfortunately I only just managed to sit through the entire movie. Didn't really enjoy this one at all, unfortunately. So I don't really recommend it unless you are a big fan of, you know, comedy takes on horror or the slasher genre. Finally got around to picking up Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy. This is the documentary for the series. Been wanting this for ages. It only actually just got released here earlier this year in Australia, and it's always been pretty expensive, up around the $25 to $30 mark, which is crazy. I picked this one up at Sanity via their 3 for $40 deal, so essentially I got this this DVD for just over $13, which I thought was a really good price. This is the 2-disc set. Haven't had enough time to start watching this yet, but I will get around to watching it at some point, as it's been a DVD that I've been wanting for quite some time, so glad to finally own it. It's taken forever. I double dipped on Happy Birthday to Me. I have the other release, the re-release I think, with the girl with the green eyes, on the cover. For some reason everyone seems to hate that cover art, but I quite like it. But anyway, finally got around to picking up the Anchor Bay release. I think it was like $5 on Amazon, so it's been on my wish list for quite some time, so I decided to finally pick it up. I haven't seen this film in quite a while, so I can't remember too much about it, but I do remember quite enjoying this one, so I will be aiming to rewatch this sometime this month. So happy birthday to me, glad to finally own this release. Then we have Alone in the Dark with Donald Pleasence. This one was really good. This has been recommended to me on numerous occasions throughout my time here on YouTube, and finally got around to picking it up and watching it, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Kind of slow to start off with, but once the patients escape from the hospital, it really becomes a lot more faster paced, and I loved it, especially the second half of the movie after the escape. So well done. It sort of crosses between a slasher film and a home invasion film. I loved it. Donald Pleasence, his performance was good, but I think I was expecting a little bit too much of him after his awesome performance as Dr. Loomis in the Halloween series. Nowhere near as good as the Dr. Loomis character in my opinion, but still, he played his role pretty good. I loved the Maniac Killers, Frank and Preacher. They were really good. Great atmosphere throughout, some great music and pretty creepy. So if you've never checked out Alone in the Dark, I definitely recommend it. Then we have Humongous, which is another Katrina Nightmare theatre release. This was a good little slasher film. I wasn't too sure what to expect, and at first I wasn't too sure whether I'd like the film because it had kind of a slow start, but I thoroughly enjoyed it by the end of the movie, and I have no idea if Adam Green got his inspiration from this movie for the Victor Crowley character, but very similar characters. Victor Crowley is very similar to the killer in this film. If you haven't seen Humongous and you're sort of a fan of teenagers, wilderness, backwoods slasher films, I definitely recommend it. It was a great little film in my opinion. I'm probably going to do a separate review and talk a little bit more in depth about it, so stay tuned for that. But Humongous, really good, definitely recommend it. Then we have Killer Party. I have done a separate review on this. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Really in-depth review on this amazing slasher movie. I absolutely loved it. Everyone needs to check this film out. It's one of the Warner Archives Burn on Demand discs, and I definitely recommend picking it up. The transfer was really good, and this is just such an amazing slasher, one of my all-time favourites now. So I can't recommend Killer Party enough. It is amazing. Then I've been getting into a lot of Blu-ray upgrades recently. I'm really wanting to build my Blu-ray horror collection up, and there's been a ton of great titles getting released on Blu-ray recently in terms of horror, which is awesome. I went ahead and picked up Venom. This is a fairly underrated modern slasher, I think. It's kind of different. It takes on more of a supernatural and voodoo element than, it's not just a straightforward traditional slasher movie. Really good. Love the atmosphere. It's set in a swamp, so it's got a really sort of eerie, creepy atmosphere vibe to it. Works really well. Pretty interesting storyline. Great cast of characters. If you're a fan of modern slashers and you're looking for something a little bit different, I would definitely recommend Venom. This was like $6 on Amazon for the Blu-ray, so yeah, it's an absolute bargain. So I haven't checked out the Blu-ray yet, but I'm looking forward to doing so. So that is Venom. These two movies don't need any introduction. We have Hatchet 1 and Hatchet 2. Finally, and it took me bloody forever to finally get around to picking these up on Blu-ray. Don't know why it's taken me so long, but I'm glad I finally own both films on Blu-ray. Terrific little modern slashers. I'm sure everyone has seen them. If you have not, they're pretty much an essential part of the slasher genre, and I highly recommend both movies. Hatchet 2 I have a preference to. I think it is better than the original movie, especially in terms of the characters and the kills, but both are great modern slashers and I highly recommend it, so glad to own them on Blu-ray. And the last two Blu-rays for this update, they're both Scream Factory releases, and I'm loving what Scream Factory are doing in terms of releases recently. They're releasing some great titles and they've got a great bunch of future titles. I'm pretty excited for what they're releasing in the future. I want to pick up Death Valley. I really want to pick up Deadly Blessing next year. They've also recently announced they are going to be doing a Blu-ray release for The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which is awesome because that doesn't even have an official DVD release. And super psyched for this. I hope it's true, but there has been rumours floating around that they are planning to release The Burning on Blu-ray. Can you guys believe it? I've been wanting The Burning on Blu-ray in forever, so hopefully they end up releasing it and the rumours become true. But anyway, two more Scream Factory Blu-rays for the collection. And first up we have Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis. I can't remember too much about this movie, to be honest. It has been a while since I've seen it, but from memory I thought it was a good one. Yeah, it stars Jamie Lee Curtis. The killer's pretty interesting and pretty awesome. He wears different costumes and disguises throughout the movie, so something a little different then. And it's set aboard a train, so pretty cool setting. But from memory this was a good one, has some nice kills, and as I said, the killer's pretty awesome as well. Plus it has Jamie Lee Curtis. She's awesome in slasher films, so yeah, definitely looking forward to checking this one out on Blu-ray. Love the cover art, really nice. So overall I'm really impressed, and definitely will be giving this one a viewing sometime this month, and I'll probably get around to reviewing it as well. So Scream Factory Blu-ray of Terror Train. Lastly, we have the Funhouse. Now, if anyone has seen my previous review on this movie, you're probably wondering why I even bothered picking it up on Blu-ray. Well, I definitely think this movie will grow on me. I loved the first half of the movie, didn't think too much of the second half of the movie. Kind of disappointed in that, but I think for the intro with the Halloween and Psycho homage and the first half of the movie, that was worth the Blu-ray upgrade. Again, I wanted to support the Scream Factory releases. Pretty awesome cover art on the slipcase as well. But yeah, I definitely think this movie will grow on me on repeated viewings, so we'll see how it goes on Blu-ray. Alright, so that has been my Slasheriffic update. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If any of you have seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them in the comments section below. And thanks a lot for watching.